Hey seventh graders, so we are going to review compound probability. Remember that compound is meaning more than one event going on. What we're talking about is rolling a die and then flipping a coin. Okay, those are our two events that we're going to talk about and review. So I want to remind you of our tree diagrams that we can draw to represent these situations. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a tree diagram that shows you all of the possible combinations that we can have with these two events. The first thing to know is that if we have a die or a number cube that has numbers 1 through 6, we first need to know that our possible rolls can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Then with our coin toss, we can either get heads or tails. So off of each of these numbers, I'm going to write H and T for heads and tails. What this shows us is that our complete sample space, all of our outcomes, we have a total of 12 different possibilities. If I count all of these options, we get a total of 12 total combinations that we can have with this scenario. Now, to find, so we know that our bottom number, the denominator, is going to be 12, always. Now, let's talk about a specific event. Your first one that you have is they want you to find the probability of an even number and then flipping ahead. All right? So, how do we do that? How do we find how many times, basically, in this entire amount of possibilities, how many times does this happen? How many times can we only get an even number and a head? Well, let's start with the first one. Even numbers, 2, 4, and 6, and then head off of each of those. So that means to satisfy this situation, we can either get 2 and a head, 4 and a head, and a 6 and a head. 1, 2, 3 possibilities that satisfy that. That's how we get this numerator, the top number. So that means our probability for rolling an even number and flipping ahead would be 3 out of 12. Remember, 3 is the favorable outcomes, what we're trying for, and the 12 is the denominator or the total amount of outcomes. 3/12 is also the same as 1/4. So we can say the probability of rolling an even number and a head is 1 out of 4.